Hey guys, I hope you're... Do I have lipstick on my teeth? Hey guys, I hope you're well and welcome back. So today's video is going to be a pregnancy Q&A. I wasn't sure whether to do a video like this on my channel. Obviously, if you follow me for a while, you already know, but if you are new here, I have gone through quite a long fertility journey. So it's been 5 years now of various miscarriages, endometriosis diagnosis, and then IVF in December. We are currently pregnant, which is a miracle in itself, I believe. And yeah, I mean, I asked on Instagram what kind of content you guys would want, and so many of you were like pregnancy, baby content. I know that a lot of my following have been through miscarriages previously and infertility, and obviously it's a really difficult thing for me to upload because I want to make sure that everyone's happy and I don't want to trigger anyone. So first and foremost, if you are someone that's not wanting to see or hear about pregnancy or baby stuff, please feel free to skip this video. However, I will be answering some questions about infertility and IVF as well, because that is what you guys have been asking. So it's going to be a wide mix of everything to do with babies. And if you can see this weird thing here, this is my hand. I have to remember not to keep going like this because that looks really strange. Please feel free to skip this video. However, I will be answering some questions about infertility and IVF as well, because that is what you guys have been asking. So it's going to be a wide mix of everything to do with babies. And if you can see this weird thing here, this is my hand. I have to remember not to keep going like this because that looks really strange. So let's get straight into it. I asked you guys to ask me some questions about pregnancy and baby stuff, and I have quite a few. So grab a cuppa, grab a coffee and a biscuit, and let's get on with it. Okay, so I'm just gonna reel these questions off. There's no order. So the first one is, how far along are you and what has it physically been like for you? So I am currently 8 months pregnant, which is crazy. Very close to the end. And physically, I would say it's actually been... It's been the easier part of my journey, let's put it that way. When you've been through so many operations and procedures and tests, the pregnancy for me has felt like the easiest part, whether that's physically or mentally, I'm not sure. But physically, I've actually felt fine. I had a little bit of sickness in the beginning. I wasn't actually sick, but I just felt like seasick all the time. And that has kind of carried on throughout the whole thing. I can't really think what other symptoms. I was on a lot of medication in the beginning, so I had various things like headaches and stuff, but I put that down to the medication that I was still taking from the IVF. But generally I felt really well in myself and really good, and yeah, I'm really grateful for that, because I know some people have a really hard time with pregnancy. But yeah, I felt physically probably the best I felt in a long time, which is nice. Another question, how are you introducing Bernie to your baby? Are you worried? This is actually something that I have been researching a little bit about. I need to read some more stuff. I feel like I'm running out of time to read all of the books that I need to read. But I do follow an account on Instagram. I think it's called Dog Meets Baby. I'll link it down below. And they're really good for like bite-sized information on how to introduce your baby to your dog. I am just gonna play it by ear with Bernie. Like, obviously we've had Bernie now for 3 years, and that's, you know, that's all he knows is just us and Bernie. And to us, he is like our first child because we love him like a child. So I want to make sure that he's really involved. I'm definitely not going to like step back from loving Bernie in any different way. Obviously I might be a bit busier than usual, but a lot of the time, like, we work from home, but we're upstairs working from home and he's downstairs, so he spends time on his own. Like, we go out and he's fine. So I think he'll be fine. I'm not worried at all about how Bernie's going to react to a baby, because he's a very loving dog and very gentle. Obviously I wouldn't leave them on their own unattended for a long time, but I'm not worried in that sense. The only thing I am worried about is that Bernie might be a bit sad, but I'm going to do everything in my willpower to make sure that he knows that he's still loved and things are still the same for him, because yeah, I'm still gonna love him exactly the same way as I do now. Someone's asked, are you looking into hypnobirthing? Yes, I have Yes, I have bought a course by the Positive Birth Company, but I need to watch it because we've only watched like 10% and time is running out. So yes, but no at the moment, because yeah, we just don't have time to watch it. What is the best and worst pregnancy symptom so far? So the best pregnancy symptom for me at this point of pregnancy is definitely feeling movement. That takes a lot of my like anxiety away, and as soon as I started feeling like little flutters and movement from the baby, I felt a little bit more like calm about things, and it just gives you that kind of reassurance that they're still there, they're still moving around. And especially now I can really feel the baby like moving around, which is crazy. I think that's something that I will really miss in the future when baby's not in there anymore. The worst pregnancy symptom for me, obviously with my history and our history of infertility and miscarriages, has been the anxiety. And I know that's not generally a symptom that is classed as a symptom, but yeah, definitely the anxiety behind it, the worrying, the kind of overthinking everything. That's definitely been something that I've had to deal with over time. But apart from that, nothing else, fingers crossed. How to build a life you love in case parenthood doesn't happen. Now this is a really, really good question, and this is actually something that I felt like I was doing before we knew about IVF and that IVF may potentially help us. We had a lot of loss in a short space of time. Then we had a long time, like 3 years I think, with complete infertility. So I feel like we really went through every part of infertility that you could possibly go through, to be honest. And when I was at the end of that kind of 3-year point of just nothing happening and not knowing whether it was ever going to happen again, and maybe thinking about IVF and knowing that it doesn't always work for everyone, because it doesn't, I really kind of tried to appreciate all the things that I had in my life, and I looked at all the positives that you can have in life when you don't have children, because children aren't the be all and end all of life. You know, there's so many things in life that you can enjoy without being a parent, and I really try to home in on them and, you know, reassure myself, you know, I have a great husband, a great relationship, we have Bernie, our dog who we love, we have a house over our heads which we are so lucky for, we can go on holidays, you know, we have a lovely job that we enjoy together, and there are so many things that I try to make more positive and not focus so much on the baby thing. Of course, thinking about your future without children when you desperately want children is really difficult, and I don't think you will ever come to terms with that 100%, because it's what you want, obviously, but there are so many things in life that you have to look at and think positively about as well. And of course there's always other ways to become a parent too, which are worth thinking about if that's something that you're interested in as well. But I really just try to think positively about the things that I already had in my life and how I could strengthen those even if I didn't become a mum. Next question, another infertility one, is what advice would you give to someone before trying to conceive after 2 miscarriages? So after a miscarriage, generally I know how I felt, and that was that I literally felt so impatient. I just wanted to get back on it, try again, get pregnant again, be pregnant, and just, yeah, I just didn't give myself time in between some of my miscarriages to just, you know, take in what had happened, feel better about myself, let my body get back to normal. Like, it was always such a rush for me, you know, when's my next period come in, and maybe I can try again, and we can do this, we can do that, I can get some tests. And it was really stressful, actually, putting that much pressure on myself after such an emotional thing to go through. So I would always say to people, and I know this is the most annoying advice when you're in that situation, but to wait and give yourself time to feel better emotionally, your body to be better physically, and just let things happen. I think that the impatience that surrounds that kind of time after a miscarriage is really stressful. And yeah, if you're emotionally ready, then if you do sadly have another miscarriage, you're ready for it, and if you don't, you're ready for that as well, because falling pregnant after miscarriages is stressful in itself. Like, pregnancy after loss is an anxious time, so you need to be ready emotionally for that too. So I always say just give yourself some time to just be you again. What baby essentials have you bought? So I would say that at this point, like being 8 months pregnant, I've pretty much got everything that I need. I think like we've got a pram and car seats, we've got a next to me crib, things like that, like all the big things. All the big things are done. I've also tried my best not to overbuy, because when we had Bernie as a puppy, I literally bought that dog so many things that he never ever needed or never ever used on Amazon, and I just purchased Amazon basically. And I tried not to do that this time, because the thing is, in the world now, even if you need something at like midnight, you can order it and it's going to be with you the next day, especially if you have Amazon Prime. So I have tried not to overbuy stuff, but I've asked friends, I've asked you guys online, have been really helpful, and I've obviously googled things. So everything that we have, hopefully we should be wanting to use. There shouldn't be anything that maybe we've overbought apart from clothes. But yeah, pretty much every essential that you need we have now, because obviously we're nearing the end of pregnancy, so it's all done, and that made my head feel a lot better. Okay, so next question is, do you have a birth plan or any ideas of the birth you would prefer? So I think there's such a strong focus on birth plans that it actually freaks me out a little bit. I am actually really wanting to just let things go as they have to go, and I think the more of a plan that I have, like written on paper, word for word, I think it will stress me out if it doesn't go like that. So for me, I just want baby to arrive healthy, and that is really all that I can ask, especially after everything we've been through. I just want the baby to arrive how the baby wishes to arrive. Obviously I want it to be a calm experience, and I'd like the lights to be dipped low, not so bright, like, you know, but that's the only real thing that I have in my head. I just am going in with no expectations, no kind of strict plan on how things might happen. I think after everything we've been through, that is what I've learned. Sometimes you just have to go with the flow, and I'm really happy to do that and just, yeah, go with the flow basically. That's my birth plan. People have asked, will you share your due date / your due month? I'm not keeping my due date a secret at all, but it is mid-September. I don't really think I'm going to give the exact date, because I know that, I think it's like 3% of people might give birth on their exact due date, right? Like who actually does give birth on their exact due date. I don't think that's going to happen. So yeah, mid-September is when I'm due. So very, very close. Very close. Going for IVF soon. Any tips for managing the bloat and discomfort after eggs retrieval? So after eggs retrieval, I was actually put under anaesthetic. So I did find that I had a couple of days where I felt a bit groggy. Take time to rest. If you have a full-time job and you're able to, book a couple of days off. I felt like I couldn't really get back into work. I really just wanted to lay on the sofa and let my body heal, especially if you are having the embryo transfer done quite soon. You just want everything to heal really nicely, and you want to feel healthy for the transfer. So I think it's really important just to take a couple of days, just to relax on the sofa, put your feet up and just feel better. As for the bloating, peppermint tea can be really good. I had peppermint tea when I had my laparoscopy for endometriosis, where you get loads of bloating, so that really helps. But yeah, just laying down, taking it easy and chilling. Don't feel like you've got to get back straight into things, and book some days off if you can. Number one advice, take it easy on the sofa. Maternity clothes / clothes you're wearing during pregnancy, please. So I thought I'd do a separate video on this. Again, this is something that I've been asked quite a lot, like my clothes essentials and things that I've been wearing. I do have a few bits and bobs that I would recommend to any pregnant lady out there. I always said I wouldn't do like a pregnancy maternity clothing haul or anything like that, but as you guys have asked for it, hopefully you will like the video. So that should be live either next week or the week after, so keep an eye out for that. Something that I'm going to film right after this video, so I can assure you it will be there. Okay, so I also had lots of questions about gender and names. So we do know the gender, but that's something that we are kind of keeping to us and just telling close friends and family at the moment. Not for any reason, just because it's just nice after so long to have something that's a little bit more precious. So I won't be doing a big gender reveal. You'll have to wait until baby is here. And as for names, we are finding that very difficult. So no names as of yet. We have a little list, that's it. But nothing is set in stone. We're kind of thinking we are going to wait until we meet baby to know what their name might be. I'm in the trying to conceive pit of despair after I missed miscarriage in May 21. Any advice on dealing with the negative test disappointment? So I know that pit of despair so well, and I'm so sorry that you are stuck there, because it really does feel like you just get stuck in this horrible place. I was actually kind of there for 3 years, I guess, you know, constantly having negative pregnancy tests, and in the end I just didn't even bother taking them because I kind of knew that they'd be negative every month anyway. All I can do and all I can suggest to you is just do nice things for yourself. It's really easy with infertility to just get like taken in by it all. It takes over your life. It, you know, it makes you feel really sad and really low all the time. You lose your spark for things that you love, and that's definitely something that I think I let take control of me. Like I lost a lot of like my spark and, you know, my enjoyment for things, like my enjoyment for my job, my enjoyment for socializing, my enjoyment for, I mean, everything. Nothing would ever make me happy. And I think it's, looking back, I really wish I had tried to not let that take hold. Easier said than done, I know, but by doing nice things for yourself, going out for nice meals together, going to the cinema, you know, having a little shopping day, anything that makes you feel good, try to focus on those as well as that kind of constant negative test thing that happens. And I really hate giving this kind of advice because I know it's so hard when you're in that space. Also, if you are really struggling, and anyone out there really struggling with infertility and the whole process, there are so many places where you can go for counselling. There's loads of charities. I actually had some counselling through Petals. And that's a miscarriage charity, so they will give you some free sessions of counselling, and that's really good because you get to talk about it to someone that's completely neutral to your situation. And I think what we do as humans is we talk to each other about it, and we share the troubles and we share the load, and it doesn't always make us feel better because then we feel guilty. So it's really nice to talk to someone that's kind of neutral and won't judge you for anything, and you don't have to worry about making them feel sad because that's their job. So counselling is really good if that's something that you feel you would benefit from. I'll try my best to leave some charities down below, some links and things like that, or some more information for anyone out there that might be looking for that kind of thing. I will try to find some and leave them linked down below in the down bar, so check those out. So next question is, will you share baby/baby content once they are born? I think so. I mean, this is again really difficult for me, and I always said that I would always be really sensitive about pregnancy content and baby content, and I think I've done that, hopefully you guys think that I have done it okay. But obviously this is my job, like chatting to you guys is something that I've done for, I mean, most of my life it feels like. So I feel like to like stop uploading would just be weird, and just ignoring the baby would be weird as well. So I think I really enjoy vlogging at the moment, and I think once things are a bit more settled, I would love to do some kind of lifestyle vlogs, some kind of reality mum vlogs, that kind of thing, as well as the other content that I create as well. But let me know what you guys think down below. Do you want to see baby content on here? Is that something that you're interested in? Let me know in the comments. Question, what are you most excited for once baby is here? I am 100% most excited for just having baby healthy, holding a baby that's mine. I never thought this would happen. I never thought I'd ever be a mum and that we'd ever be parents. So just to see a baby that is mine is just a magical magical thing, and to be honest, I'm excited about everything. I'm excited about life again, which, ooh, getting a bit thingy. Feel a bit excited about life again and how life might feel, you know, past what we've been through. Just, yeah, a new lease of life is what I'm excited for, I think. What are you most looking forward to consuming once pregnancy is over? This is a good question, one I haven't thought about. Probably an espresso martini. Every wedding we have shot this year, I swear they have espresso martinis and they look so good. A little bit of caffeine, because I have completely cut caffeine out, not because I know you can drink some caffeine, but I've just decided to just cut it out because it's just, yeah, it's just easier not to have it. So maybe like a little bit of a caffeine hit might be nice. Oh, and like, what are they called, like salamis and all that kind of meat. I haven't eaten anything like that because it's very confusing about what you can eat. So a load of like salami meats and all that kind of stuff. Can't wait for that. And soft cheese. Basically everything apart from seafood, because I don't eat seafood anyway. Oh my gosh, I'm so happy to see the rain. So exciting when it's been so hot. It is raining. I'm loving it. I'm gonna go out there in a minute and lay naked in my garden. Maybe not. Another question, how is your third trimester going? Do you have any symptoms? Again, symptoms, I have more now that I'm at the third trimester. So I've been getting really lovely nosebleeds, which is just fantastic. And I have been getting quite a lot of pains, which I think is my endometriosis. Obviously, everything's getting a lot heavier, a lot lower, and I think it's pushing it on the endo scar tissue. So I have been feeling quite uncomfortable in that way. And I just generally feel really, really heavy in myself. Again, nothing out of the ordinary. I think I mentioned I had anemia, so I have been feeling a little bit faint, a little bit jittery, but I'm on iron tablets, which hopefully should help with that. But until this point, I've not really had anything major apart from a little bit of seasickness like what I mentioned earlier. So the third trimester is definitely harder, I'm not gonna lie, because everything's bigger, everything's heavier, but it's also cancelled out by how magical it is as well. Like feeling the baby moving is much more stronger now, and that's my favourite thing. So there's a lot of pros and cons, but more pros obviously. Okay, so then I actually had a question in my DM, so I'm just going to read that. So my partner has been accepted for IVF on the NHS because she has endometriosis. My question is, did the investigations like the internal ultrasound etc cause you any extra pain, and also do your symptoms feel less now that you're pregnant? So personally, I didn't find that the internal examinations or the scans caused any extra pain, especially the like internal scans. I feel like everyone thinks internal scans, they have to go right up there, but honestly it's like a tiny amount of the actual scanning wand really goes in, and it's uncomfortable but it's not painful. So that side of things was always fine. You don't have a lot of internal examinations either. It is literally just the scans, in my case anyway. The only thing that changed for me was that during my egg retrieval I was put under anaesthetic, so I was put to sleep for that procedure, and that is because with endometriosis sometimes it can be a little bit more difficult to get to where the eggs are. So that is something to ask your IVF consultant if you are worried, and whether you can be put to sleep for that rather than the sedation. I do believe that the sedation can be a little bit more painful if you have endometriosis, and again, if they find any problems, you want to make sure that they can get to the eggs as efficiently as possible. So that was the only thing really that was changed because of that. In terms of my endo symptoms since falling pregnant, I have definitely still had some endo pains. They've just been quicker and less. I haven't had my really strong, like, you know, take over my body for an hour kind of pains, thank goodness. But I definitely, as my belly's got bigger, I have felt, you know, that kind of pulling sensation, that burning, pulling feeling that you get with endo where the scar tissue is maybe being stretched. I have had that a little bit. Obviously it's difficult in pregnancy because you can't really take painkillers, and I haven't even wanted to take paracetamol for that either. I do say that endometriosis pains can go away in pregnancy for some people, but I have definitely felt them still, but just not as bad and for not as long. So guys, that is literally every question I got asked about pregnancy. I really hope that that answered your questions, any questions that you had. If you do have another pregnancy or baby related question, then let me know down below. And of course, if you do want to see baby content once the baby's here, please let me know in the comments truthfully how you feel about my channel and what you'd like to see here. This is a really strange transition for me, going from talking about hair and fashion and beauty only to then talking about infertility to then talking about having a baby. Like, it's honestly been a bit of a whirlwind. So I really would appreciate your feedback and what you want to see from me going forward, whether that's the kind of content you like. Obviously, I will always be doing the vlogs anyway, so yeah, just let me know what you fancy watching, what you like consuming on YouTube, and what you want to see from me. So I don't know if I updated you on here, but I'm trying my best now to upload a video every Wednesday. So every Wednesday evening about 5 p.m. there should be a new video from me. Obviously when I have the baby there might be a little bit of a gap, but other than that I'm trying to upload once a week at the moment, and I'm really trying to get back into everything. So yeah, so one last question that I do get asked is, can we see the bump? So just to let you know, again, if you don't want to see a baby bump right now, then fine to click off this video and I'll see you next week. But if you do want to see, then here you go, here goes. Bump right now. Feel like it looks humongous on there. Never thought I would ever see myself with that, that's for sure. So guys, thank you so much for watching and tuning in. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you give it a nice big thumbs up. It really helps my channel get boosted up the algorithm, and if you're not already, subscribe as well so you can stay up to date every Wednesday with new videos. And I will see you again next week for another video. Have a lovely week in the meantime, and thank you so much for always being so lovely. Love you guys, and speak soon. Bye.